The Level 2 is Aventon's second generation of this commuter e-bike and was amongst the first in its lineup to receive a torque sensor. Now, we first reviewed this model when it was first released, but with a few more years and quite a few more e-bikes under our belts, how does it stack up? Well, in this full review, let's take a deep dive into the components that make up the Level 2, put that torque sensor to the test on our street and hill climb test, and then finally I'll weigh in on some pros and cons to hopefully help you decide if the Level 2 is a commuter e-bike that you've been waiting for. But first, let's take a closer look. Hey everyone, I am JT from Ebike Escape, and before we talk specifics about the Level 2, I just want to give everyone a quick overview of why Aventon is one of the top e-bike brands that we recommend here at Ebike Escape. Starting out has to be their length of time they have been in the industry. Aventon started making bikes in 2013 and then made a shift into e-bikes around 2018. Now, since that time, they've extended their lineup to include everything from a complete commuter like you see here, all the way up to an e-mountain bike beast, and really anything in between. Now, we have reviewed all of the Aventon e-bikes at this time, as well as we even have members of our own family who ride Aventon e-bikes daily. Aventon has also worked very hard at establishing an 1,800 plus bike shop network, as well as a customer forward 2-year warranty, which are two extremely solid reasons that make them very easy for us to recommend. Now let's talk specifics about the Level 2. The Level 2, even though it was released a couple years ago, thanks to its finely tuned torque sensor, high-tech package, and really complete package that you see here, it's remained a top choice amongst many cyclists out there across varying ranges of experience. But like most e-bike manufacturers out there, be sure to check the link in the description. Not only is that a free and easy way to help support us here at Ebike Escape, it is also a free and easy way for you to potentially find the Level 2 on sale and get free items, which can be anything from a cargo basket all the way up to a free second battery. Now, the Aventon Level 2 is offered in 2 frame options. You get a high step version like you see here, as well as a step through version. But along with those 2 different frame options, you also get 2 different frame sizes. This is the regular high step here, but it's also offered in a large, and the step through is offered in a regular and large as well. My height happened to fit perfectly for this high step model here. So this is again the regular high step. Now, I am a 5'7" rider with a 29-inch inseam, and I can get full leg extension here, fit very nicely. On this, it was not difficult for me to get my leg up and over. I do have to lean the bike a little bit because I'm on a hill here, but getting up and on this bike is not bad, as well as this down tube here slopes down nice and low, making it easier to get on and off if for some reason you don't want to switch over to the step through version. Both the high step and low step are also offered in 2 different colors. Colors for the high step are this glacier, which is like a blue you see here, as well as a clay. And then the step through comes in 2 different color options. You get the same glacier blue, but as well as a polar white. The Level 2 has a total payload capacity of 300 pounds and comes in tipping your scales at about 62 pounds, but you can get that weight down a little bit more if you remove the battery. Now let me bring you in close and let's start talking about the components. Let's start from the inside of the wheel and work our way out. Starting at the inside, we have a through axle, keeping your wheel attached through this Innovatec front hub. Then we have these really nice Tektro hydraulic disc brakes, which are grabbing onto a 180mm Tektro rotor. We have this nice Aventon branded Zoom hydraulic front fork, complete with 65mm of travel. Now let me go ahead and give that fork a couple quick pushes for you. It's a very nice sprung front fork, which has a lockout knob on the right and a preload knob on the left. And then as we come out to the tires, you get this nice reflective sidewall on these Kenda tires. They are 27.5 by 2.2 inch. These are the Quick 7-5 Sport tires, and they are listed to be e-bike ready and have a very nice street-oriented tread. Wrapped around the outside of the tire, we have this very nice metal fender. As we work our way up, you'll notice that the wires are nicely loomed here and out of the way. We have an Aventon badge hiding on the side. Also a noticeable lack of any sort of bolts up here for a front rack. Also worth noting is that the headlight is mounted up here on the front of the stem. Turn on the headlight by pushing the light button on the controls. Get a very nice bright headlight. Now this is a nice smart choice by Aventon to put the light up here on the handlebars. So that way when you actually turn the handlebars, the headlight is pointing where you're going. And then while we're talking about the lighting on the Level, we have to come around to the back of the bike and talk about the 1, 2, and 3 rear taillights. Aventon takes safety very seriously on this bike. Quick note, this light is not flashing. That is simply just the GoPro. And these are also brake actuated. All 3 of the lights are brake actuated. And then back up in the cockpit, we have matching Tektro hydraulic disc brake levers, Aventon branded locking grips. We have a push thumb throttle here on the left, our nice 5 rubber button controls, a nice color display front and center, a 8-speed Shimano shifter on the right, and matching lever and grip. All right, moving back to the center and also into the shade, let's go ahead and talk about the color LCD display. Now, this display is operated by these 5 buttons over here on the side. You have a power, a plus, a minus, and information in the center, and your headlight button over here on the right, which you simply turn on and off the headlight by pushing that. Information, you can cycle through the various statistics down here. And then you have your plus and minus button, which allows you to change your pedal assist level, 0 all the way to 5. Located here on the top of the display, you'll notice we have a battery and percentage. We have our current miles per hour. And then, like I said, you can cycle through these bottom statistics by pushing the information button. Starting out, we have a trip distance and a current odometer, average speed, max speed, trip time, calories burned, trip CO2 reduced, trip trees saved, some CO2 reduced, some trees saved, and then back to the initial odometer and trip distance. Now, there are also some minor advanced settings built into this display. Everything else is done through the app, but you get into that by holding the I button right in the center. You get clear trip data. You can adjust your screen brightness. You can set the units of measure if you want to switch to maybe kilometers an hour. Get some general system information, and then we get our Connect to app. And like I said, the app is where you're going to get into really some of the nitty-gritty and the in-depth details of this bike. So we're going to go ahead and click Connect to app. We're going to get a nice QR code. And now I have not connected to this bike before, so I kind of want to show you guys how the bike is to set up. Now, to start out, first thing you have to do is log into your account. Come here to it. We're going to go ahead and click log in. And then right here, greeted home on the screen, we're going to get a pair button. I'm going to go ahead and click that. I'm going to give it access to my camera. I'm going to move it over, scan the QR code. Do I want to pair? Yes, pair now. And here we go. We're going to go ahead and call it our level.2. We're going to call it HS here. Save. You can skip that if you don't want to. We're going to go ahead and allow Bluetooth. You can change your bike by tapping if you have more than one e-bike. And you can also change your ride mode by clicking up and down here. Now we're going to go ahead and on our screen here, we're going to go back to our home screen. So you notice here, we're pretty much almost immediately connected because I can change the pedal assist levels and immediately change the pedal assist levels on the display. We can turn on and off the lights. And then we can also get here into our settings. Here we can change our screen brightness, how long until the bike turns off, which assist level we're currently in, as well as the one that I think everybody wants, which speed limit and metric we're using. So we're going to go ahead and turn the bike up. It gives you a warning. Changing may violate your local laws and regulations. Like any good e-bike steward, I have to say, make sure you're following all your local laws and regulations. I'm going to go ahead and turn the bike up here. It's very simply done here. And you can only go up to 28 miles per hour, as that is the class 3 limit. And we're going to go back here. You can also unpair then once you're done. You get some other statistics here. And then you all notice you get access to dealers if you want to share its location. I do not want to. You can check your maintenance here for how long you've been riding, how long did you do a bolt check, chain, things like that. Very nice maintenance reminders there. You can get overall support. Here you can record your ride. You can also discover other people. It's kind of a gamification, allows you to maybe connect with other riders out there. And you can just look at your general information here. Now, I know the whole camp for apps is kind of a split one. Some people love them, some people hate them. I do kind of like the approach that Aventon takes, whereas the app is there if you need it and there if you don't. And what I mean by that is that you could use the app to override your bike to say those class 3 speeds, unpair your phone, unpair your bike, and then you don't need to use the app again, unless you wanted to say maybe turn that speed and stuff down. And one other thing that I almost forgot to call out on the display is that located down here on the bottom of the display, this little Aventon door. You pull that out of the way, you get access to the nice USB-A charging port. Now, as we move our way down from the cockpit, here's a up close look at that nice sloped top tube, and then the down tube with the integrated battery. We'll pull that out in just a second. On top here, we have these nice 2 bottle cage bosses, which are nice low out of the way. And mounted to that, I have our bike case Sidewinder ABC cage. Nice ratcheting bottle cage here, allows you to carry anything from a small water bottle up to a wine bottle. And then here we also have some nice stickers here on the side, tells you the size of the bike, classing of the bike, as well as what type of bike it is, and some reminders on charging. Speaking of charging, let's go ahead and pull the battery out of the bike. Now, in order to take the battery off the bike, you're gonna need your keys, which Aventon has these nice yellow top hats, makes them easy to find. You're gonna put the keys here in on the driver's side of the bike. You're gonna twist it towards the front and the keys are gonna stay there. Then you're gonna grab, there's a little safety latch underneath here. You're gonna push it either to the right or left and the battery is gonna fall down and out nicely. You simply lift up on the bottom to pick it up. Here's a look at the battery, Aventon branding here. On the top, we have a red, green, and blue LED, which changes color based on the charge level. This is a 14 amp hour battery, which comes out to 672 watt hours at 48 volts. The battery is made of high quality LG cells and is compliant up to UL 2849 standard, which means that not just the battery, the entire bike is rated and compliant to the UL standard. As we flip over the battery and look at the bottom, you have the connector for where the battery connects into the bike, as well as a little look at the barrel connector for where you can charge the battery both on or off the bike. Now, another plug for a product we have here, if you're gonna be traveling with your battery, not in your bike, we always recommend our Bike Case flame and water resistant battery bag here. Allows you to put the battery in, roll up the top, and simply clip it over. And like I said, it is flame and water resistant. Highly recommend this product also if you are able to find the Level 2 at the time of offering when you get a free second battery. It has these nice Velcro straps you can throw on your rear rack and fully charge it up and bring it with you. So where you'd be able to double your range. And on the subject of range, the Level 2 has an estimated range from Aventon of about 60 miles. Now, that number is thanks to the efficiency that you get from a torque sensor. It means you're gonna get a little bit extra range out of the battery as you're able to stretch the power that you're getting out of the battery to be just a little bit more. Now, that number is, of course, gonna be highly dependent on how much throttle and how much pedaling you're actually putting in. To put the battery back in the bike, you simply line up the bottom, grab the top of the battery, push it in. It's gonna hold on to that latch. I like to hold the battery in with my right hand and then twist the keys back towards lock, and the battery will actually kind of lock into place there. Once you are twisted back to the lock, you can take the keys out. And also worth noting that you cannot lock the keys until the battery is all the way in. And I like to give the safety latch here a couple quick pushes to see if the battery is gonna fall out. Now, as you open this accessory kit, here's where you're gonna find some included niceties. We get some nice Aventon stickers, a manual for your bike, the 3 amp included Aventon charger, spare parts box, reflectors, grease, and even a nice little Allen tool here for assembling or disassembling your bike. And of course, this only looks this nice until you start yanking things out of it. Then it's a bit of a puzzle to get back together. Now, as we move down from the battery, here's a little bit of a look at that torque sensor there. We have these nice metal pedals here, a kickstand that's back out of the way, a little bit of Aventon branding here on the chainstay, Tektro hydraulic rear brake, Tektro rear rotor, and then above that we have this nice included and thankfully pre-installed rear rack. Now, this rack has a maximum weight capacity of 55 pounds. You have some nice pannier hangers here on the side and a couple of nice bolt holes here. We already talked a little bit about those nice integrated rear lights. And as we come around here, we get a nice look at the Aventon branded rear motor. Now, this motor is listed as a 500 watt motor, nominal, and 750 watt peak. We're gonna be sure to put that to the test of our hill climb test. And then coming out in front of the motor, here's a look at the Shimano 12 to 32 tooth rear cassette, and moving the chain over that, we get the Shimano Altus rear derailleur. And as we follow the chain to the front, here's a look at the single-sided plastic chain guard, which is covering a 46 tooth front chain ring. And then as we move our way up, here's probably the component that you're gonna be touching the most, I'd say even over the handlebars, that's gonna be the seat. Now, this is a Aventon branded Velo seat. It's a pretty soft seat, but it does take a lot of its inspiration from your typical bike seat. Now, one product that we also sell that should help increase this a little bit is gonna be our suspension seat post, which we call the Game Changer accessory. Adds a little bit of extra cushion to the seat there. I'll have that linked in the description down below as well if you would like to pick one of those up for yourself. Now, that pretty much wraps up the componentry that makes up the Level 2. So how's that torque sensor to pedal on the streets? How does that motor perform up our hill climb test? Let's find out. Now you know about all the components. Let's put all of them to the test and see how they come together to provide you a riding experience. So starting out, the bike is overridden to class 3 speeds, so that means that I should be able to pedal up to speeds of 28 miles an hour, but under throttle power alone, it's gonna cap out at about 20 miles per hour. So when we first get into riding, I just wanna hop on and show you what the throttle is capable of. So I am in pedal assist level 5, doesn't matter whether you're in pedal assist 1 or 5, you will get access to the throttle and see how the bike gets up to 20 miles an hour. Yep, gets up to, oh, looks like it almost got up to about 21 there. And then it backed off the power though. So now I'm holding it there, I'm getting no power, slight downhill. The bike is just gonna kind of taper in and out power to maintain at about that 20 miles per hour. Very capable bike. You wouldn't know on flat ground that this bike is a 500 watt nominal 750 watt peak. I have a feeling that's gonna show a little bit more heavily in our hill climb test. Now, as I'm riding here too, I feel like this is a good time to mention just how the bike is to ride. How comfortable is the bike? These handlebars, Very straight handlebars, something I'm very used to from riding either a mountain bike or just your kind of get around bike, anything without drop bars. These are pretty standard handlebars. Feel nice, put you in a nice comfortable position. The controls are in good placements. The frame geometry doesn't feel bad. I'm a little hunched over, but that's what I would expect from a commuter style bike. So that's how the bike is on throttle and just overall comfort. Well, how is the bike to pedal? Well, let's go ahead and shift all the way down here to first gear. And this is really going to be where we get into some of the differences between a torque and a cadence sensor. So very quickly, for anybody that doesn't know, cadence sensor is an on-off switch. If you're pedaling, it's giving you power. If you're not pedaling, it's not giving you power. Whereas a torque sensor actually feathers in and out power based upon how many rotations it's sensing from your legs. So let's go ahead and start pedaling. We're going to try and keep the same easy cadence, not overworking myself. Hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit on camera, just kind of get a sense for how much effort I'm putting in. And here we are, first gear, first pedal assist level. I probably would shift up here to second to give myself a little bit more resistance on the legs. And it looks like we're settling in at about 9. Yeah, so we're at about 9 miles an hour here. This is a pretty easy cadence, easy amount of pressure on my legs, and overall easy to maintain. We're gonna kick it up to pedal assist level 2 now. And here we are, second. Yeah, I can feel the motor giving me power and kind of taking it away because it wants just a touch more effort. So I would actually go ahead and shift up into third here. It looks like, yeah, almost 10, right on the verge of 11. But yeah, there we go, about 10, 11 miles per hour here. I'd actually almost probably shift up to fourth. There we go, yeah, fourth. This is a pretty good amount of effort on my legs and still keeping that easy cadence, about 11 miles an hour. And then just to quickly show you, we're settling in here 11, 12 miles an hour. If I push a little bit harder, the motor is gonna give me a little bit more power. And then we easily will zip up to, 17 miles an hour, 18 miles an hour there like we saw. Let's go ahead and slow it back down to about 11 here. Yeah, let's go ahead and kick it up. Pedal to level 3 now. Felt a little bit more power and you see the speed went up to about 12. Yeah, 12, probably almost 13 miles an hour here. I'll probably shift up to fifth. Yeah, good amount of pressure on my legs, 13, 14 miles an hour. It's nice to have 8 gears to be able to choose how much effort you want to put in with your legs or how much effort you feel like putting in. Let's go ahead and pick it up from pedal assist level 3 to pedal assist level 4. And didn't feel too much more power come in there. We're only in about 6th gear. Let's go ahead and kick it up to 7th there. That's probably where, yeah, this is the right amount of pressure on my legs. About 15 miles an hour here. And we'll go ahead and kick it all the way up now to pedal assist level 5. Didn't feel intense amount of power come back to me after kicking that up. Bike is definitely giving me a little bit more power as it senses I'm putting in more rotations. So if you want to, in pedal assist level 4, pedal with a lot of effort here. Still not too much effort if you hear I'm not out of breath or anything. Shift it up to 8th gear here. Here we go, 26, 27. Yeah, about 27 miles an hour. This is a pretty easy cadence. Oh, there we go, we got up to 28. Pretty easy cadence. You can tell how much effort I'm putting in. I'm not out of breath. Let me see if it's even a little bit less effort here in pedal assist level 5. But it's nice that you can really associate the pedal assist level with how much effort you want to put in and still be able to achieve kind of whatever speed you want. Instead of on a cadence sensor bike where I feel like you're picking your pedal assist level depending on how much power you want. On a torque sensor bike, you're kind of picking on how much effort you want to put in. All right, let's see what this motor is now capable of up our hill climb test. All right, bottom of our hill climb test. We know how that motor performs on flat ground, but how is that 500 watt nominal, 750 watt sustained motor going to perform up our hill climb test? Let's find out. First time up, we're going to go up under throttle power alone. So I'm going to give myself throttle, get off the line. Now this hill is a bit steeper than it looks on camera, I promise. We'll put the specs for the hill on the screen now. This is the hill that I test all the bikes that I review on the channel. Up, all right, we'll see what happens. So next time I come down, I'm going to go up via pedaling and also going to give the brakes a good test on the way down. But here, this time up, only throttle. So let's see, we're dropping to 9, 8. Oof, it definitely feels like the motor's bogging down a bit earlier than what I've seen from others. So definitely a true 500 watt motor. I don't think Aventon used incorrect numbers there. This looks like, excuse me, about 7 miles an hour. 7.5. It gets a little steeper up here, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yep, there we go. 6 miles an hour. I think, yep, and we're going to see 5. Oh, is it going to keep going? We're going to see 4? We see 4. Okay, so 4 is still moving. It's definitely not the fastest we've ever seen, but it's not bad. I mean, again, that is putting a motor in a worst case scenario. Please remember, I am a 225-pound rider, and this is a bike, and it is a torque sensor bike. So that was a worst case scenario. That is the motor doing everything on its own, which realistically, this is a bicycle. Not going to be doing frequently anyway. So, all right, here we go. On our way back down now, I like to give the brakes a good test. Now, these are Tetra hydraulic disc brakes. We see them on quite a few bikes, so I have pretty high hopes for them. I'm going to slow it down from about 27. Oh, got to back off that brake there. There we go. There we go. No problem there. Actually locked up the rear wheel pretty quickly there. Let's try and get up to about 25 again, and we'll hit the brakes one more time. I always like to say it's not the first time you hit the brakes. It's going to be the second and third time that you're going to really cook them there. Oh, yeah, this bike, no problem slowing down there. There's definitely some heat in those brakes now. Those two pretty quick stops. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get in the right gear. Shift all the way down first. We're going to turn down our pedal assist level. So I am going to start out pedal assist level 1, gear 1. And here we go. So remember, this is a torque sensor. So as we found out in the riding portion, this is a torque sensor. So if I spin my legs faster, we're going to get more power. But here we are. See, settling in probably about, I don't know, 7, 8 miles an hour. I would probably actually shift up to second. Nope, back down to first there. This is a little bit more pressure on my legs. Definitely feeling my legs kind of bogged down. I would turn up your pedal assist level here. There we go. Pedal assist level 2. Definitely felt a bit more power come on. Now at these slower speeds, I can definitely feel the motor giving me power, taking away, giving power, taking it away. It's not disconcerting because I know the motor and the torque sensor are working because they're definitely measuring together. But here we are, first gear. Looks like, now you definitely can tell that they're working at least, but it is something to be aware of. Here we go, about 6 miles an hour here. Kick it up, pedal level 3. Yeah, felt a little bit more power come up that time. There we go, almost up to 7. This is about where the bike started to drop last time. So we'll see, 3 miles an hour. Kick it up 4th here. Didn't feel too much more power come on, if any. And then 5th, pedal assist level. Felt about another bar or two. There is that blue bar here that gives you an idea of how much power the bike's providing. And I definitely got a little bit more power there. And that showed because we're maintaining about 7 miles an hour. So pedaling up hills, pedaling up pretty steep hills, looks like 7 to 8 miles an hour is a very achievable speed. All right, that pretty much wraps up all of the tests, riding tests and component up close look that we have for the Aventon Level 2. So let's get into a pros and cons list and help you decide if this is the next commuter e-bike for you.
Aventon is a brand that has proven themselves to us to be very reliable and capable of making some great e-bikes that stand out, even over time. And the Level 2 is just that, a complete commuter e-bike that is still fun to ride today. Aventon is a good brand and one that offers support both pre and post purchase. Aventon is able to do this by having partnered with over 1,800 plus bike shops to assist you whenever you might need them, and most of all, to keep you on the road for as long as you want to be there. Now let's talk about some standout features of the Level.2. The Level.2 is a nice platform that blends quality and value to offer a great cyclist-friendly e-bike. One that I think makes the transition from a traditional bike to an e-bike very easy. You'll find name brand components like a Shimano Altus 8-speed drivetrain and Tetra hydraulic disc brakes, common components that we do not typically find on sub $2,000 e-bikes. We call the Level 2 Aventon's complete commuter model, and for good reason. It comes equipped with a Zoom front fork, a cargo-ready rear rack, metal full coverage fenders, and even integrated lights that are powered directly from the bike's battery. These are standout features that distinguish it from Aventon's other models like the Pace, which doesn't include a front fork, rack, or fenders. The differences between these models continues into the riding position. The Level 2 has a slightly more aggressive stance, fitting it more for a commuter-focused design, while the Pace takes a more relaxed cruiser-style approach. This design choice aligns with each model's purpose. The Level 2 is built for efficient commuting, while the Pace leans into more easy, casual cruising. The Aventon Level 2 also has a unique flair with app connectivity, letting you change the class settings to control your speed. I like how they've adopted the there if you want it and gone if you don't mentality for the app, giving you the flexibility without complicating the setup. Now, one feature that I personally appreciate on all of Aventon's models is the torque sensor. It's a great addition if you're already familiar with cycling, since it creates a more natural pedaling feel compared to a basic cadence sensor. It's one of the reasons Aventon has moved all their models to torque sensors, plus the Aventon's classic bike geometry and 2 frame options, high step and step through, allows for a comfortable fit for riders all the way from 4'11" to 6'4". No one size fits most approach here. On to the safety front, Aventon takes a few extra steps here by securing the UL 2849 compliance for the entire electrical system on the Level.2. This certification means that every part of this bike has been rigorously safety tested and approved, adding a layer of peace of mind. The UL compliant 14 amp hour battery is a standard size for this price point, but with the help of that torque sensor, it's able to achieve ranges of up to 60 miles, depending of course on how much you are actually pedaling. But it's also worth mentioning a couple things on the other side here. First, this model does come in at a little higher of a price point than some other direct-to-consumer commuter e-bikes. And while this reflects the higher quality and bike shop support, it's still something to consider. Aventon has brought the price down a little bit since launch, but it's still not the most affordable option out there. The motor is slightly smaller at 500 watts, where we typically see 750 watt motors on other comparable models. However, in our hill climb test, it did still manage to carry me, a 225 pound rider, to the top, but at a little bit slower speed than what we see from some of the more powerful motors. On flat ground, it performed completely on par with my expectations, and I have no complaints, even when cruising at class 3 speeds. One last note, the Level 2 also does not come with the newer Aventon features like turn signals or the Eco to Turbo pedal assist modes, which we're seeing on all of their latest models. But even without these, the Level 2 is a very well-rounded commuter e-bike from a trusted brand. If you're looking for a reliable quality e-bike from a brand that stands by its products and offers a strong network of support, then the Aventon Level.2 is a fantastic choice. It may come at that slightly higher price point, but with its well-chosen components, thoughtful design, and trusted brand backing, it's a solid investment. Aventon is also known for running some great sales, so be sure to check the link in the description for the best current pricing and maybe even catch that Level 2 on sale. And if you want to show us here at eBikeScape a bit of support, making a purchase after clicking that link is a great, easy way to do so. Thank you guys so much for all the support. So what do you think about the Level.2? Does it still stand out even after its initial release? What other commuter e-bike do you recommend? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Ride safe, everyone, and I will catch you all in the next one.